Most people think they know the passion of the Christ, the pain, the brutality, the devotion, the unforgettable performance. But almost no one knows what really happened behind the scenes, or the experiences Jim Caviezel carried in silence for years. Experiences so intense, so spiritual, so physically dangerous, that even Hollywood refuses to talk about them. And here's the shocking part. Jim Caviezel didn't just act as Jesus. He lived moments that pushed him to the edge of death, literally. When he accepted the role, Jim wasn't stepping into a normal movie. He was stepping into a battlefield. Spiritually, physically, emotionally. A battlefield that almost killed him and also changed him forever. He faced boycotts, mockery, rejection from Hollywood elites, and a wave of hostility that would have crushed most actors. But none of that compared to what happened during filming itself. Lightning struck him. His shoulder was dislocated. He suffered hypothermia so severe that his heart briefly stopped. And in the middle of all of it, he had an experience many describe as an encounter with the divine. But before the lightning, before the surgeries, before the world saw him on the cross, something else happened. Something no one expected. Jim had a dream. Not just a dream, but a moment so real that he later said it caused more pain than any physical injury from the movie. In that dream, he felt the overwhelming love of God, beautiful, powerful, yet terrifyingly close. And he told God, "I'm afraid the world won't see you, they'll only see me." And God answered, "If I come too close, they may not like what they see." Yet Jim insisted, "Then don't come. Let them see you, not me." That one moment became the prayer that guided his entire performance. This wasn't an actor stepping into makeup. This was a man asking God to break him, shape him, and use him so the world could see, not Jim Caviezel, but Jesus himself. What followed was a journey no actor in Hollywood history had endured before. Spiritual warfare on set, physical injuries that almost ended his life, emotional battles. And at one point, the moment his heart stopped and he died on an operating table, only to come back with memories so vivid, so peaceful, and so filled with heavenly music that he could never forget them. This video is not about gossip. It's not about celebrity drama. It's about what happens when an imperfect man says, "Here I am, Lord, use me." Many people think Jim Caviezel simply performed the role of Jesus, but the truth is far deeper and far more mysterious. He didn't just play the role, he carried it. He suffered through it, and in ways no camera ever captured. He lived it. Today, we're finally uncovering what Jim has kept hidden for years. Some of it is inspiring. Some of it is painful. And some of it is so shocking that Christians around the world have been moved to tears. Now, let's go behind the curtain. Let's uncover what really happened. Jim Caviezel is, without question, one of the most gifted actors of his generation. Yet in Hollywood, you rarely hear his name celebrated. Wait, Bevas. Because he did something almost unthinkable in an industry that often mocks or minimizes faith. He portrayed Jesus Christ with raw honesty, reverence, and complete spiritual surrender. And Hollywood never forgave him for it. Executives refused to fund the project. Producers refused to attach their names. No major studio would touch the film. So Mel Gibson did the unthinkable. He paid for it himself. He financed, directed, and produced the entire movie using his own fortune. It was a risk so extreme that many insiders said it would ruin his career forever. But the obstacles on set were even worse. From the first phone call, Jim sensed the weight of the task. He told Mel, "Everyone is called to carry a cross. If you don't pick it up, it will crush you." And then Jim realized something startling. He was 33 years old. With the initials JC, even Mel Gibson went silent when he heard it. Something bigger was happening. The filming began in the hills of Italy, where freezing winds whipped across the landscape. Jim often had to stand half naked in temperatures just above freezing, tied to a cross, exposed for hours. The cold became so severe that he suffered hypothermia and a brief cardiac event. His heart actually stopped beating for a moment, but he kept going. A doctor warned him he would need 2 major cardiac surgeries afterward. Then, during the final scene of the crucifixion, lightning struck the cross and traveled through his body. Most actors would have quit the next day. Jim stayed. Why? Because to him, this wasn't acting, this was obedience. While he hung on the cross, shivering, exhausted, barely conscious. He later said he heard Jesus speak to his heart. "I'm closer than you think." And Jim, half frozen, barely breathing, answered, "Not close enough." But the most mysterious moment came later. In the hospital, during surgery, Jim died. Not metaphorically, not symbolically. Clinically, his doctors, Dr. Gillian and Dr. Griffin, confirmed it. And Jim remembers everything. He described a peace unlike anything in this world, a calm that felt like stepping out of a shell. He wasn't breathing, yet he wasn't afraid. He watched the doctors running, panicking, doing everything to revive him. And then he heard it. Trumpets, horns, music not from the room but from within his soul, voices singing in perfect harmony, unlike anything mortal ears could reproduce. Angelic choirs that seemed to wrap around him, lift him, embrace him. And just as he was absorbing that celestial beauty, he was pulled back. Pain returned. Cold returned. His body returned. But his heart wasn't the same. Jim understood something profound. His suffering, every wound, every moment of agony was nothing compared to what Jesus endured on Calvary. But it allowed the world to glimpse even a fraction of that sacrifice. And that, he believed, was worth everything. When we step back and look at everything Jim Caviezel endured, the physical injuries, the spiritual warfare, the cold, the rejection, the literal strike of lightning, the cardiac arrest, the moment of death in return, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Jim didn't just portray Jesus. He walked through a shadow of the passion itself. Most actors prepare for a role. Jim surrendered to one. He prayed every morning. He confessed his imperfections. He begged God to use him despite his flaws. He carried the weight of a role no human being is truly ready for. Because how can anyone prepare to represent the Son of God? You don't prepare. You kneel. You ask for mercy. You ask for strength. And Jim did exactly that. Hollywood rejected him. Executives mocked him. But Jim understood something far more important. God does not pick the perfect. He perfects the willing. Jim knew he wasn't flawless. He knew his past. He knew his weaknesses. But when God called, he answered, "Here I am, Lord. If you want me, use me." And God did. Through freezing winds and blazing lights, through dislocated shoulders and heart failure, through lightning and surgeries and fear, through a near-death moment that revealed the peace awaiting every believer. Jim came back changed, forever convinced that heaven is real, that Christ is real, that love is stronger than death. His story is a reminder of something many Christians forget. Faith is not comfortable. Faith is not easy. Faith is not a performance. Faith is a cross, a daily cross. And when we carry it with Christ, it doesn't crush us. It transforms us. Jim Caviezel remains, for millions around the world, a living testimony that the Christian walk is not acted. It is lived. It is suffered. It is defended. It is honored with every choice we make. His journey teaches us that God still chooses people today. He still transforms. He still calls the ordinary to do the extraordinary. And sometimes, he uses a Hollywood actor to remind the world what real sacrifice looks like. If this message touched your heart, share it. Someone out there needs this reminder. God still calls, God still restores, and God still writes stories that shake the world.